In 1988, the Russians sent two probes to Mars, Phobos 1 and Phobos 2. The main goal of the mission was to explore Mars' mysterious moon, Phobos. Phobos 1 was soon lost due to technical issues, but we are more interested in the Phobos 2 probe, which, just moments before its mysterious disappearance, sent back a photograph to Earth that remains unexplained to this day. Marina Popovich, a colonel in the Soviet Air Force, was an engineer and a highly decorated test pilot with over 100 world records in more than 40 different aircraft. She was nicknamed Madam Mig, and her impressive biography includes a dangerous incident as a test pilot, which is documented in a video where she narrowly escaped death due to an engine malfunction during a MiG-21 test flight. The reason she is important to our story is simple. Without her, there would be no interesting story to tell. This is the story of an incident near Mars' moon, Phobos. Phobos and Deimos are two of Mars' moons, with Phobos being the larger one, measuring 27 by 22 by 18 kilometers, discovered in 1887 by the astronomer Asaph Hall, according to modern astronomy. At first glance, this Martian moon doesn't hide anything special, but over the years, anomalies have emerged that suggest otherwise. Despite Phobos being just an ordinary rock, why did the Russians send not one but two probes named Phobos and Phobos 2 to explore this mysterious moon in 1988? Only 2 months after the launch on its way to Mars, one of the probes ceased functioning due to technical problems. Phobos 2 safely arrived at Mars in the first month of 1989. Upon arrival, preparations began to synchronize its orbit with Mars' moon Phobos, with the goal of flying the probe in tandem with the moon at a close distance. It was during this mission that unexplained events occurred, leading to the loss of contact with the probe. In 2005, on the 3rd of March, Phobos 2 sent back photographs to Earth. These photos were taken with an optical infrared camera and completely baffled scientists. In the photos was not an object but rather the shadow of an unknown object located in orbit around Mars at a higher altitude than the probe itself, which was positioned at 6,000 kilometers above the surface. It was a shadow that did not belong to Mars' moons. Phobos and Deimos served as definitive confirmation that the shadow was not associated with them. The significance of this discovery came from the fact that through the shadow, one could see the surface of the planet. However, on the same day, the Russians announced that they had lost contact with Phobos 2, which had sent its final photograph just moments before disappearing. The photograph contained something that shouldn't have been there. According to the Russians, the photo showed an object located between the probe and Phobos, rapidly approaching the probe. Contact with the probe was lost a few moments later. The Russians claimed they would present the photograph at a press conference scheduled for a month later. However, a strange silence followed. The Russians refused to release the photograph. The story might have ended there if not for the main character we mentioned at the beginning of the video, Marina Popovich. Explaining that everything in the photograph could be logically explained, she held a press conference for journalists at the Russian consulate in San Francisco, to withhold revealing the last infrared photograph from the Phobos 2 probe. It showed a cylindrical object about 20 kilometers long and 1.5 kilometers in diameter. The story might have ended there if not for the main character we mentioned at the beginning of the video, with the probe Marina was lost. In December 1991, she managed to smuggle this photograph out of the Soviet Union, which was crumbling at the time. Due to its importance, the photograph was classified above top-secret documents. Nothing like it had ever existed before. This photograph, accompanied by a note, documented the first-ever case of an extraterrestrial mothership in the solar system. This incredible photograph, showing this enormous object, might also explain the mysterious shadow on the surface of Mars that the probe had captured before encountering the unknown flying object. "25 years later, definitive confirmation that something unusual was happening on Mars came from the Curiosity Mars rover, which managed to capture photographs of a similar object in the Martian sky. Mars undoubtedly holds many secrets for which we still lack definitive answers, and we will attempt to find answers to some of these questions in future videos. But did you know that Mars' moon, Phobos, hides one of its greatest mysteries? A mysterious geological structure that scientists have called the monolith. While most have concluded that it is a natural rock formation, some have gone a step further, suggesting the possibility that it could be of artificial origin. Even in 1958, a theory by Russian astrophysicist Josip Milovich suggested that Phobos might be a hollow celestial body. These conclusions were reached by studying the moon's movements, leading to the conclusion that it must be very lightweight, which immediately gave rise to theories. Is Phobos even a natural occurrence, given the mysterious cylindrical object of enormous dimensions? This only reinforces the beliefs of some theorists. Mars, along with Phobos and Deimos, hides much more than meets the eye. As for Marina Popovich, it turns out she was a UFO investigator who had more encounters with UFOs during her military career, some of which she described in a book called UFO Glasnost, published in Germany in 2003. In this book, she made incredible claims about over 3,000 UFO sightings, stating that the Russian military, along with the KGB, was involved in collecting remains from 5 crashed UFOs in Russia. Marina Popovich passed away on November 30, 2017, at the age of 86. Thanks to this remarkable woman, we have been able to hear information that might otherwise have never seen the light of day. What exactly happened to the Phobos 2 probe? The last telemetry data indicated a sudden acceleration and uncontrolled rotation, as if the probe had collided with an object. A few seconds later, all signals disappeared, and its fate may never be revealed. The mystery of this object remains unexplained to this day. However, is that really the case? Stay tuned to the Global UFO Channel, where we will delve deeper into this topic.